YouTube? What's going on? What's good with you? This is the Skeptic Sage. Welcome to my page. Yeah, I know. It's been a while. Some of my friends, when y'all finally say, you be like, hey, what took you so long? Why did it take you so long to get started? I know. I waited a long time. I had a lot of other projects. I tried a podcast. I was doing a pizzeria. I started a trucking job. Driving on the roads. Going across the country. I've done a lot of stuff since last time I tried to do anything on the social media / Instagram / YouTube / all that. I still have a little bit of content out there, but I'll go ahead and move on to the new persona, the Skeptic Sage. I like it better. It fits me. It suits me. And I don't have any partners, so it's just me until I go further on. I'm just going to introduce you again to this page. I had some other introductions. They're a little older, about 6 months old. Nothing's really going to change. This is just a newer version. I had made some plans for that one. Didn't get back to it. And now this is just me getting back to it. What I had going on. And so, feeling in a better position, got a better understanding. So, still getting it down, but I'm still, still working on it. And talking about this channel, I'm going to get it down, I'm going to get understood. And then I'm going to try to see what else I'm going to do after that. But number one thing is to make sure that this channel does what it needs to do. And that is for it not only just to to educate, but to entertain. I want it to be educational entertainment. You should be able to laugh, have fun while you're learning something new, doing something different. This is great. I will be stopping and getting some Starbucks, as a friend of mine says, Starby. I will be getting that. So if you see me stop talking for a little while, that's all. I'm just ordering. I may or may not edit that out. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm just getting started because I want this thing to get some kind of generating out of this. We've got a lot going on out here in this new world. This is the 2020s. Pretty soon it'll be the 2030s, the 2040s, 2050s, and so, you just want to always, keep up with what's going on out here and keep up with society. You don't want to be stuck in some kind of cave. So, stay with what's going on, stay current. And what's current is, find an alternative. You got a wild man president out here, playing games with the economy. He's playing chicken with the economy, pointing weapons at the world that they all have. They all have the same weapons he has, and he thinks that they're going to just bow to him just because he is who he is. Half the people don't give a damn about that guy, his office. So I can only, the world's smarter than that half of the country that likes Trump. So I can only imagine how, the rest of the world is laughing at his clownness. Now, the only issue I have is that we got to be associated with this idiot. We had a president that hit all the high marks that our president needs to hit. And Joe Biden. He was the best president that we've ever had. By far. He got the most accomplished, the most done. And he came out every day he came out, he was talking and doing something for the American people. And he wasn't coming out there doing wild stuff like yelling at countries and getting mad at people for being in war because somebody attacked them. He didn't. President Biden didn't go out there. He completely understood every single situation and conversation that was going on. And not only did he have a game plan for him, he had thorough game plans all the way down the chain. There was no miscommunication ever. The only time he ever looked slightly bad to me, I know they laugh at the time that he fell off a bike. But to me, I'm like, he's an 80-year-old man riding a bike. He's staying fit and healthy. The last time I seen Trump do anything fit and healthy, it don't happen. Excuse me. I will take that out there. That clown always eats fast food, talking about hamburgers and from McDonald's. Hamburgers aren't bad. But, McDonald's ain't bad, but you know what I mean. There's burgers, and then there's sweaty burgers with all them grease in there. And then there's the burgers where it's all them extra preservatives and stuff that you don't even know really what you're eating. I could tease about what kind of meat I think that is, but we all know it comes out some kind of pink slurry. I mean, we've all seen the videos. So we don't know what's going on with that stuff. So, when you see a guy like that, you think things, at an age he is, you think he's not going to be able to make it. But somehow, that evil heart just keeps going. That man to get his way and be angry. I have never seen a person be so angry that they got their way. It is incredible. It's sad. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. That's like when Jordan wins a championship, if he walks around frowning. Like, it just don't happen. You don't do it. When LeBron James won a championship, he's smiling, he's happy, he's crying. These guys, Steph Curry, smiling, happy, crying. Jalen Hurts, my quarterback. He's smiling. He might not be crying. I think he just hungry for more. He got too much Kobe in him. But anyway, besides though, that guy, Trump, when he won the presidency, you would have thought he got his kids got in trouble or something. Like, he was so upset, and I can't stand the man. His mugshot is disturbing. His mugshot is pure. Is his real energy. That energy that he gave out in the Georgia precinct, and he gave out that mugshot. You could use that in any horror movie. And the next 8 horror movies, it'd be the most scariest thing. And it's not just because it's him. It's because he's got power. That is the most ridiculous part. He's got power. A clown like that person has power. The most pitiful, sad, wimpiest. The man ain't never got in a fight. He tried, when he got shot at, he tried to jump up in the air and pump his fist in the air. I was like, this guy's a showman. He's a big faker. He's a big faker. And I had no trust in that guy. No trust in that guy. For being president. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Kamala. I voted for Hillary. I voted for Obama. None of these things make me weak or soft. It's just I made the right decision. Y'all didn't. Hold on a second. Yeah, so coming right back here. That was a little pause. Yeah, we just been dealing with some nonsense out here recently, and I can't stand it. I've never seen a president that has been so ran by his temper and emotions. You don't want anybody doing that. You don't want your parents doing it. You don't want your teachers, teachers or coaches doing it at school. You don't want, because the people that are ran hot with emotion, they're not thinking all the way through. There's some kind of problem there. And so when you see somebody getting angry, it's like, that's as far as their thinking goes. And it's like, if you're not clever enough to get yourself out of that situation, and then the other issue is that not only will you not, you won't find a way out that paper bag that you keep walking into and can't get yourself out of, so it makes you angry. But you also have all these minions around you giving you even worse ideas, and they're just terrible people. And I don't know, like, they act like they never heard of the Constitution. And I'm like, we have a set of rules and laws out here. You guys can't keep abandoning it anytime you want to. And, that's what's going on out here with Doge. Doge running around axing all these people. Just sending them home, don't even really know what they're doing. That's not smart. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can say you're in the Department of Government Efficiency all you want, but in order to make something better or more efficient, you need to have people that specify in whatever you're doing, whatever that is, send in some auditors and see if you can tighten up the ship. Auditor engineers, and tighten the ship up. Like, this is not something new. And if hold on a second, pause you guys one more time. If we had somebody on the left that did exactly what he did with Elon Musk, Trump did with Elon Musk and his Doge people, which Doge to me is not constitutional. Doge takes the whole purpose of Congress and kicks them out. He takes their power. Hold on a second. Yeah, so if this Doge people are allowed to continue to go down this path, then Congress has no job when it comes to power of the purse or the will of the people. The point in sending those representatives over and being a Congress, which is, people to Congress to come together and do the will of the people of the United States. The issue is, for some reason, there's parts of the United States that doesn't want us to do well as a country or as a people, which is why they make bad policies. Now, if you are conservative, where you're fiscal conservative, this is where you're supposed to be at. You're supposed to help us to maintain society and to conserve the country. Make sure that we don't, overspend or go beyond our means, or just make sure we have what we need. Like, that's who a conservative is supposed to be. You're not supposed to be out here being a counterculture. Now, you can have your own type of culture. The country's big. You can live how you want to live. There's areas of the country that is hardly any people. If you want to live there, you want to move there, live there. Your neighbor be, 200, 300 miles away from you, depending on what country you move in. What state you move into. You can have country mile neighbors, or you can have neighbors right over top of your head. And that's the thing. There's enough space in this country to live how you want to live. You don't have to be scared of people. There's no space where we can all live pretty comfortably, and we don't have to be turning around pointing the finger at each other, being scared at other Americans and calling them names and saying, calling them this and that. And you live in Chicago, so obviously you're dealing with a life of crime. People in Chicago living happy lives, eating deep dish pizzas, which looks like quiches to me, but whatever. Big hot dogs. And they living fine. It might be a little cold. They living fine. People living rich lives. People living okay lives. There's people surviving out there. But if you listen to Fox News, it's a war zone. It's not. It's not. There's people out there making money just like they are in Arkansas and Missouri and Kansas and Kentucky. It's the same. Well, I just get tired of the news always trying to put us against each other. And then when you bring it up and you show that there's the rich people always trying to get away with more. This is a classic United States thing. The U.S. never likes paying people to do their jobs. They don't like paying people to do anything. They want slaves all the time, and you got to get them out that habit. The greedy people will always be more greedy. You got to get them out of that habit. You got to stop. You got to stop and say, "Hey, I gotta." There's something in you that says it's cool with these people taking my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You got to get into there and figure out what the hell that is. Get that out there. Because one thing's going on is you're not living the life the best you could, because you're over here allowing these people to not give you your proper lifestyle just because you want to see these rich people get richer. The country was running hard enough when we had about 400 to 500 billionaires in this country. And to be honest, I actually thought it was pretty good if you was a billionaire in this country, because I thought it was pretty tough to be a billionaire here. But then came Donald Trump. And Donald Trump made the most billionaires in this country that the country's ever seen. The billionaires went up by 4-fold. So what does that mean? Well, the problem with having more billionaires is they take a lot of money. They're big greedy fish. One mouth, big greedy fish. And the more there are of them, the less money it is for us. And we can see it on all roads that are decaying, on our schools that can't get funded. We can't have music classes. One of the reasons that kids miss out on cursive is because we can't. If they would allow it to be in art, it would be in art. I can forget the C word. Calligraphy or something like that. Calligraphy. Yeah. And so, they could be learning calligraphy, but instead the people decided that they don't want to have kids learn about history because they feel ashamed about what they did in hundreds of years ago and decades ago, and so they're ashamed of their history. So they don't want kids. They want to burn books that have people's name in there, even if their last name is gay. Like it doesn't matter about the sexuality of the last person, if the names of the last person is gay. Like the last name of the person is gay. It just matters that the last name of that person says gay. That's a problem. Like that don't make any sense. There's people with those names. It's just they're gay, and then there's Gaylord. There's a couple homosexual set of names, but that don't mean that they're homosexual. They're just names, and it's insane. They get rid of these books and they take them out this is not good. We shouldn't be book burning. These are the issues that we had during the time of the Inquisitions. When Christians was out there going crazy, killing people, setting people on fire. You know, you don't, because they was calling them heretics and things of these natures. You don't want these atrocities being built up. One of the issues that Trump's going to have is there is no war. There was no war declared. And so him talking about these Venezuelans, and he's the only one that can see them, and then whatever Republican prop up, that's it. There's no evidence. So after he gets out of office, these people that he sent over to Guantanamo Bay, to El Salvador, he's going to have to come out with a real reason why. And I feel like, why he sent them over there. And because his fake lies, you can only lie but so much. And the court, he should be held accountable personally. He should be held liable personally, and the government should be held liable. They should be both held liable. And everybody that was a supporter of that. So they was in Congress and they supported it and they speak out against it. If they speak out against Doge, they speak out against the encampments that's in other countries, which I don't even think is legal. They even have anything like sending prisoners to another country. I've never heard of that my whole life here. All this stuff, they should be held personally liable for lying, breaking the law. They should go to jail. They should go to jail, and they should not be able to come back to Congress ever again. They shouldn't be able to run for president, come back to Congress, and from here on out, we need to have some kind of loyalty to the Constitution test. Something needs to happen where you can either you got to pass some kind of psych test, or I don't know, some kind of or you gotta do something where the military is like, if you don't do what the military, like, not the military says, but the military is owned by the American people. So I feel like if you got a runaway president, or president is just don't know how to act right, then you should be able to have the military go and court-martial him, because he's neglected his duties. He's not following the Constitution. Like, we need some kind of oversight for the president if Congress can't do it themselves. This is ridiculous. This will take away the need for a coup or a great revolution. Because if somebody just makes sure justice is taken care of, then the people don't have to rise up and fight for it. Like, it'll just naturally happen. Because we should be smart enough to handle. That's the whole point in us being United States, as we handle everything by law. And we don't have any. We're all people. We got character checks. We're all different types of people, and we all got character flaws also. But we should be ran by our character. Like, if you don't pay your bills, then that's why you got bad credit. If you're a bad person, it shows up. You got a criminal record. But if you're like the president, he had 88 counts. And he was convicted for 34. He's the first criminal president. He should not have been he should not be president. He should not have the chance to go to office. But for some reason, in the way the United States is set up, he can still go to office, which doesn't make any sense to me. President Biden had a chance, and that's the only thing I ever hold President Biden accountable for. President Biden had a chance to lock this man up and get rid of him. But he picked the wrong attorney general. And that attorney general is the weakest attorney general I have ever seen here on this. I understood the corruptness of Trump's attorney generals. They were corrupt. I expected them to be, relentlessly poor at their job when it came to holding the president accountable. But when it came to a Democrat who had the power of the law in his hand, and he didn't want to seem biased, and that's why he went after Joe Biden's son. And look, that was one of the weakest moves I've ever seen in my life. Joe Biden's son. Here, listen how this is what you guys don't understand. Joe Biden's son did nothing wrong. And I'm going to tell you one more time because I know you didn't hear me. Joe Biden's son did nothing wrong. Hunter Biden did nothing wrong. All Hunter Biden did was show his junk on a laptop that Congresswoman Green felt like she had to show to the whole world. It doesn't matter what they found on there. Hookers, guns, whatever, all this other stuff. All that stuff don't really matter. All those are pictures. Everything in there besides the gun is circumstantial. If he's not supposed to have a gun because he was on probation, so be it, or whatever. So be it. I don't know if he's on probation, but if he has some kind of, I think that's what it was. He was on some kind of probation or whatever, and that was a big deal. And or something about, yeah, he didn't pay his taxes right. He was on some kind of probation, so he wasn't supposed to have a gun. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. This is the United States. Most right-wingers drop their pants and bend over for a good Second Amendment belief chat or rant. And so for them to just sit there on their thumbs and not say anything about him getting a gun charge, that shows you how hypocritical they are. The law should apply to everyone equally. Everybody equally. The more billionaires you have out there, and the more you show that this one billionaire can get away with everything, the more problems you're going to have with the other billionaires. They're just going to be like, well, I'll just pay off whoever the judge is, and I'll get away with it. You can't have that. You got to keep it clean, because then if they start, hey, I don't have to pay, then the whole society starts collapsing, because nobody has to do anything anymore. We don't have to follow the laws. We can do whatever we want. And so, that's the opposite to a liberal lifestyle. A liberal lifestyle is your freedom. You live by the laws and you're free. You're free to make. You live how you want. Just don't get those laws are pretty much don't harm anybody else. That's what all the other laws are all about. Protect you from the rich. Protect you from the poor. Protect you from hunger. Protect you from homelessness. And see, that's another thing too. We need better laws that protect us from the enterprises that like to go in here and buy up all the homes and make everything more expensive. The homes are expensive in New York City. Let that be like, if you live in a city like Philadelphia, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, it's expensive there because there's a lot of people there. Let those places be expensive, but it shouldn't be expensive in the places where there's hardly anybody there when you got less than 100,000 people there. We should not be paying New York prices for, small towns. Small towns should be paying New York prices for homes. This is incredibly wrong. And this is another reason why the greed of the rich keeps invading our lifestyles. And this is why you got to get them under control. You got to get these people out that are in Congress that aren't doing the right things out. You got to get the people in there that are trying to get what needs to be done. Like, you got to get them to let them get it done. This is the thing. I got some more to say about that, but a few more things about this country and its history on not liking the government. The history of the people not liking the government comes from the South being mad at the North. They've been leading that, trumpet against the North for over 100-some years. They hate the government, and that's only because they lost the war. They don't need to be in charge. If you don't like the government, stay away. Don't come over here. If you don't like what the government's doing, don't get involved. If you don't like what the government doing and you can see something that can be done better, come to the party. Come to the table. But if you can't see anything that can get done better, please step away. Go to the beach. You're making money. Go mudding somewhere. Go play up a mountain. Go do what you want. Go shoot all the deer and all the wildlife wherever you're at. Just go. But don't come out here and talk to us. Don't come to the table. Leave us alone. You don't need to be out here. You don't have to follow Q. You don't have to listen to Alex Jones. You don't have to listen to Donald. You don't have to vote for Donald Trump. None of the people are going anywhere. Black people are going to be here. DEI is going to be here. There's going to be here. There's going to be gay people here. There's going to be people that love families here. There's going to be people that love going to church here. There's going to be people that love going to synagogues. There's going to be people that love going to imams. Whatever church that Islam goes to. They're going to go. Mosque. I'm sorry. Yeah, I couldn't think about it for a second. People going to go to mosque. Like, people going to go to different places. There's going to be plenty of religions. I like Buddhism. I think they're great. But I also like the fact that I don't have to believe in any of it. I love that's even better. That's the thing. There's going to be a lot of different people here. There's going to be boy on boys walking around holding hands, girls and girls walking around holding hands. Oh well, ain't nothing you can do about it. They've been doing it since the Bible been here for a long time. And people cross-dressing and all that. So if all that stuff gets you mad, they're just riling you up. And there's only one thing they're trying to do is take money from you. And you know how I know? Because for the last 40 years, what have we not had? No pensions, no health care. Well, our health care is you got to pay for it. If you don't have no job, you ain't getting paid for it. And if you don't got no job and you ain't paying for it, no health care for you. That shouldn't be how it is. That should not be how it is. Other countries have health care, whether you work or not. You can go and they talk about long lines. The lines here are just as long as everybody else, and they actually go through quicker because people aren't afraid to go to the doctors. Here, you gotta be almost on your deathbed before you want to go to the doctors because not everybody's insurance is great. Not everybody's got good health insurance. Some people's health insurance might not even be helpful. It'd be hurting them. It hurts them because you go to the doctor, you think everything's fine, and the next thing you know, you got a giant bill coming to you. Yeah, what is that for? Why they set you up. So, we got to get that fixed. You got to get the healthcare fixed. So, and I want to push I want whatever senator, whoever, president, next president, whoever, to talk about why and the need to have universal health care and the need to have a human rights bill for homes. If you live in the United States, you should not be able to not afford to live in the United States. You should always be able to afford to live in the United States. If they want to make it so that only the rich people can take care of themselves in the United States. Well, then they need to make sure they have food stamps available for all the people that can't afford the new super high food that they want to be paying for. Because it only goes with money. People think we can run out of money. We can't run out of money. You can't run out of money. It doesn't matter what standard it's on, whether it's on gold, whether it's on what, no matter what, you can't run out of money. What you can run out of is value, assets, which we turn into money. And the United States right now has a lot of assets. We was topping out at 44 trillion, and they was talking about how we're going to go to 50 trillion in the next 10 years, and we was actually going there real fast, but, President Dummy can't figure out how to, stop being a cheddar Bob and shooting himself right in the manhood, that he can't figure out how to stop jerking himself around and can't figure out how to just do the right thing. He is criminally minded, and he bankrupt all of his businesses. He cannot not do that. All he knows how to do is tear stuff up. He is a destroyer. He is not a creator. He's a destroyer. He came to kill, steal, and destroy. And we know whose characteristics that is. So, yeah, we need, like I said, we need a housing bill. We need get on my back, dude. We need a housing bill. We need a healthcare bill. And then after that, I know you're going to say probably like, well, if we get a healthcare, like, how much is that? It's going to be expensive. Well, don't you already know you're already paying $6,000 to $8,000 for a decent healthcare now? So you know how much it costs you to get, and that's through your health insurance at your job. So you know how much it is if we all paid it in taxes. It'd be around $3,500. That's if we all paid it together. So you already cut it in half, a little more. So that's what I'm talking about. You got to pay attention to this stuff. If you, the medication that they sell us, the medication that they sell us, if you guys haven't realized, the medication that they sell us, we have already bought and paid for multiple times over. Where do you think they got the research money to find out what this stuff is? What go all the medications? Where do you think they got that money came from the American taxpayers? It didn't come from the constituents. It came from the American taxpayers. You made that development. They went out and they found what they needed, put it together, packaged it up, and sent it in. But as far as when it comes to what we did, we already paid for it. So why are we paying top dollar? We shouldn't be paying $2,000 for anything. Any type of $200. All the medicines that are hundreds of dollars, hundreds and hundreds, almost thousands for pills. That should not happen. That should not happen at all. It shouldn't be happening whatsoever. Why is that? Because once again, we have already paid for it. It should cost us change. Pennies. It does in other countries. In other countries, it costs them 5, 10 cents. In other countries, because they're not playing that game. They're not playing that game. Here, they charge us. They charge us 1,000%. They charge us as if they're tariffs being talked about from Trump. Look at that stuff. I don't want it no more. And then after that, we'll have to figure it out. When it comes to prison reform, things of that nature, I'm just going to tell them Matthew 25. And God talking about when Jesus talking about he's going to separate the goats, the sheep from the goats. And he said those who know his ways will hear his voice. And those who treated the prisoner well, they are the ones that hear his voice. Took care of the poor, feed the sick. These are the things that the churches need to be talking about. Churches need to be, I need the churches to reset, go back to the way you're supposed to be and become Christian again. And stop being so political. The churches, look, the black church needed to be political at one time because we had no rights. They had no rights. And right now they're trying to take away the rights of our buddies there, our brown friends from the multiple countries of Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico. Well, they can't get rid of Puerto Ricans, but they're Puerto Ricans just as brown as a Mexican. And then they're trying to. If you're from the south of the equator, south of the border, they're trying to get rid of you, and it's not good. We can't have that. We need to normalize with Cuba and get over whatever issues we have with them. I don't really like the issues we have with them are not the same. It doesn't matter what they're going to do. That stuff is over with. That Batista time and all that other stuff during the 50s and 60s, we ain't got time for that no more. We ain't doing none of that. Alright, let's get back with the Havana, and they'll be alright. We need to get rid of Putin. That guy's gotta go. We need to fix Ukraine, help them out, help give them their money, help. I would rather just give them some money to help them fight the war instead of us having to go over there and fight. Like, come on, let's just make sense. Make it make sense, If we don't have to go over there and fight for them, then all we gotta do is send over some cash, and it don't even cost that much. Just send the cash, and then send them some weapons, send them some good stuff. You know what I mean? Give them a taste. Get them them brewskis a taste of what they're gonna be getting if they keep playing around with our ally. Because Ukraine is the United States ally, who you should not be treating like a punk when you walk into your office. And that's another thing too. After Trump leaves office, I'm looking forward to seeing who's the next person. But I know this is going to be a controversial take, and I'm gonna put out there that I'm gonna say it first. I hope in the next 15 to 20 years, because I know AOC is going to run, and Bernie's probably going to run soon, and AOC is going to run soon. But I don't think AOC is going to win her first go around. She'll probably win when she gets a little older. But what I want to see is President LeBron James. That's what I want to see. I think LeBron James would make a great president. And you might be thinking to yourself, why in the heck would I say that about a man like that? You don't know anything about him, Well, the thing is, LeBron, when he spoke politics, he spoke the right way. And so, he's a good family man. He's done well for himself. He's taken care of himself. He knows how to manage everything I've seen he manage turns to gold. And so he's the opposite of Donald Trump. He knows how to keep his marriage. He's still married to the same woman. He has, his kids came up and they're learning and they're doing fine. They're doing what he did, and he looks like he's going to have both his sons in the league. Donald Trump can't get both his sons off a coke. So this is incredible. And so I think now LeBron, has he ever expressed interest? No. Who has expressed interest? Stephen A. Smith. I do not want to see Stephen A. Smith as a run for anything. I don't want to see him run for any kind of office. I don't want to see him run for it. Stephen A. Smith is delusional. I have not seen him on the right side of any conversation. The only time I've seen him on the right side of conversations when he's on the other side with Skip. That's about it. That's the times where he flourishes, when he's outmaneuvering Skip's, because Skip's is insane. So I do not want to see Stephen A. Smith get up there and talk to the Democrats about whatever's on his mind, because he is just as bad as all those other rich people that try to get up there. He has his one-track mind. He thinks he's right, and that's it. Yeah, which is probably why him and LeBron don't get along, because LeBron don't see things like that. LeBron's got a mind of a prosperous mind, creative mind, and he might be getting older, but that doesn't matter. That's basketball age. He would be a young politician. And so I hope he runs for Ohio, something, maybe even in LA, maybe in California. But, maybe I would rather see him out in Ohio somewhere where he's needed, beating out a red district, turning it blue. And then, that's just what I hope to see happen. Will it happen? Nah, doubtful. Could it happen? I don't know. He's never said anything. But I do pray for it. Last time we had a NBA player in the Congress. I think his last name was Bradley. And that was back in the 90s. And I enjoyed seeing him there. He had a great spirit. He had a good heart. And he didn't have any of that nonsense that we be seeing from these other congressmen. So that's one thing about basketball players. Usually basketball players get along with everybody. And because we know it's a team effort no matter what you do. There is no individuals. It's always a team effort. And so when the team does good, we all do good. And the team rises, we all rise. And that's what you need. That's true leadership. So all right. This is the Skeptic Sage with another introduction video. This will probably be, I might make a couple more, or this might be it, but I'm gonna make this one look a little different, do some editing magic, and we're gonna go from there. But it's time to make this thing pop. So all right, signing off.